Hey everybody, it's Miriam here at Paper Wheel Studio. How are you? Excuse me. I needed a drink here before we get started. Sorry about that. How are you today? I hope everyone's doing well, and I wanted to welcome all my new subscribers. Thank you, thank you. My channel would not be going well and growing if it weren't for you. So, what I have in front of me today are some junk mail envelopes. I just simply cut the ends off to get my mail out. And I have two here that are blank on the inside, so we won't have to cover the inside. But I also really like how it has two windows on them. And from what my thinking was, is that I could fold this over about halfway between the two envelopes. So I'm going to try that. I mean, I don't have a definite plan here, folks, but we're going to give it a shot. And then this would go on the side of the journal page. For example, if this envelope were in my page in my journal, of course, it's skinnier than what normally, but this would go on here like this. You've got that on one page, and you have this window pocket on the other page. You could make it come in from the end. However, I want mine to be entered from the top. So, that's what we have, and we are going to make at least one of those with our junk mail envelope. So we're just going to see what we can do with some junk mail envelopes today. I'm going to even off this end just with my scissors, cutting it so it's nice and even. And I'm going to cover one side and then probably cover the other. That looks fairly straight to me. I'm okay with that. So, we're going to start with this side, and the lucky thing is we do not have to cover our pocket here. So, whatever goes in this pocket, we'll be able to see right across here. And I haven't picked anything out for that yet, but you never know what I will do. I have a bunch of scraps over here. That some of them are newsprint scraps, which work very well for something like this. And I do have a piece from the Vintage magazine. I don't know that it'll help, and I have some book page here. So let's just pull out some randomy, scrappy pieces that I have here that I could possibly use on this. This is a recipe. I don't want to really mess up my recipe. And it's just plain brown paper. Here's some. These are newsprint pieces. So we're going to pull those out. These are from Margaret's kit. A couple digitals from things we've been making. And I also have a couple of these Williams Farmer Merchant National Bank. Why did oh, there's Williamstown, West Virginia on there. So I have a couple of those. All right. So, that one got something on it. Probably a snack. Oh, okay. So let's see what we have here, and let's just get some of these pages down on here. I really like this, so I was hoping maybe I had enough to cover this. And I think if I piece it, I might be able to do that. So let's, first of all, I'm going to take off my edge here, especially that top where I got glue on it or something. So we're just going to take that edge off, and it's going to go in my trash can since it has glue on it. And it's not very wide to try to use it for anything else. Again, I'm going to just simply, these are very easy to tear if you just get a fold, because this is newsprint paper and it's excellent for covering things. So I've just printed some digitals on newsprint paper. I have this, and then I also have this collage piece. Trying to remember whose kit this was. I think this was a Kara Brandon digital kit. Not 100% sure, but I believe it was. Now, I'm going to lay that strip to the side because there's still a strip there that could potentially be used right here. And in fact, we're going to do that. And we're going to fold it over on the other side. And then we can cover up that little white piece that's there. So I'm going to grab my glue stick. And I'm going to start with putting this piece down. And see if I have enough of this is the end down here that we got to take off. So, and lucky me, it is well enough below where I need it to be that I can just tear it off here. Hopefully. Some papers don't like to tear very well if you're tearing against the grain, but we're going to put this down the edge here, and I'm just going to collage us a nice, pretty pocket that we can use. I love using junk mail envelopes for pockets and things because they're perfect. They give you a good base to work with. And then you don't have to create your base out of your papers when you're doing it, and all you have to do is collage on top of it. Or glue down digitals or something along that line. You really doesn't take a lot to do this. And depending on what kind of scraps, you could use scraps. By all means, use up your scraps when you do something like this. All right, now I want this piece to at least place it so that, yes, I have enough of it to fold over. Just really going to press that down good there. Then I'm going to go ahead and fold it over and glue it down, and we will fix it when we come back and do the other side. So, oh, did I not? No, I didn't get it folded all the way. Let's do that there. Where's that ruler when we need it? Hope everybody's having a wonderful day and you've got good weather where you are. There we go. And we're going to be covering that piece up, so I'm just going to leave it right like that for now. And I'm going to just trim off my two little bits off the bottom and the top. Be real careful you don't cut into your envelope when you're doing this. That would not be a good thing, because then you'd have to go back in there and glue it closed. Okay. So we have that now. And then we have this lovely collage piece here. That is kind of neutral, but not exactly. That would be pretty to see through our pocket, though, wouldn't it? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to tear my white end off, and I'm just going to put this across here like this. And it cuts off those. I love that bit. Let's just tear a strip off here so we don't ruin that upper bit. It is so beautiful, and we'll put it across the bottom of this. Get another piece for the top so we don't, well, we could always put that piece on the top and see the beautiful bird and flowers up above our pocket. And let's fold that just a wee bit more, because I think that's what I'm going to do. Let's see. And we don't have to worry about covering the inside of these because this is going to be glued down into a journal. So let's just fold this piece. All right, there we go. I'm going to tear this piece off after I push it downhill right here and get it folded well. Hopefully we can get it torn good. And I'm going to turn it over the other direction so that I can use it. This bottom piece, maybe across the bottom, up the side. We'll see what we can do with it. Might even be able to do this side and the other side with this. So let's just see what we have. It's a collaged paper, which I just love these collaged papers. Make your own. I just like to collage with collage papers because it gives you all these different looks that you can get with it. Okay. I'm just going to tear along this edge. I like the torn edge up next to my pocket. There we go. Give it just a little bit more of a definite. I think I'm tearing against the grain of paper. So when that happens, we'll use a ruler. Just going to lay it right along where I want it to tear here. All right, there we go. That piece tore out, but I will salvage it and try to glue it back in there if I can, even if I have to. Or I can just put that right across there like that and not center it. That's an option. But I got this over here, and I don't want this piece over here. So we'll piece that bit that ripped in there. All right, so we want to take this end off. And I'm gonna go ahead and snip this part. It's going to be folded under, so yeah, I know that's not straight, but we'll give it a little fold here. And that way we can know where we want this piece to sit. And it's going to sit right here like this. Right across the front. Yeah. That's what we want. So let's put down, and this is open, but we're going to fold this over to close this off. Then all we have to do once it's covered is snip the top of it. So let's get glue down on here, on the envelope itself, all the way across the top. I love to make things out of junk mail and packaging and just things that you would normally throw away. I love to do that. It just is so satisfying to know that I have taken something that would normally be thrown in the trash and I've turned it into something usable. I even sometimes will take things I get, like from insurance companies, bills, Medicare, and cut off the white pieces of them to use them somehow as well. They make great things for little scrappy notebooks, the insides of envelopes. If you don't use the whole envelope, you can still just use the inside and get, well, it didn't exactly go where I folded it, but that's all right. Because we could come back in here and I did not glue this closed, which I should have done before I started, shouldn't I have done not? So we're going to go ahead and glue this envelope closed because we don't want it to open. We want it to be completely closed. All right. And again, this is going to be on the inside of your pocket, so it doesn't matter if you cover this because it's going to be glued down into the journal. So it really will not matter at all. And I want this to fold over, but not by a lot because I want to give it its own little look on this side. So we're going to take that bit off, just enough to fold it over and give it the pretty edge, which it kind of already has anyway. But we're going to do that. And then I'm going to trim along the edge at the top. A little too much glue there, but that's okay. We'll just use my fingers and wipe it away. It's going to get glued on top of. Again, it won't matter. And then I'm going to take this piece and fold it over as well. Then I'll turn it over and you can see what we have here. Hopefully I'm not going too fast for anybody to be able to see what I'm doing. Can't imagine I'm going too fast for anything though, because that's not how I work. I'm very slow usually. Okay, I'm just going to take this little bit off the top across here, because that bit is actually going to be our opening for our pocket on that page. So I'm not going to open the pocket yet. I'll wait till I get it all covered. So now we have this on this side, and this little tiny piece here came out of this. So we're going to try to get glue on the wrong side, Miriam. You want glue on the other side. Try to put a little glue under it. Okay, I got a lot of glue under it. And I'm going to try to stick that right back down there where it goes to fill in our little hole spot here. Since it's right along the window. There we go. Push it up there into that. There we go. That's good. Barely see that corner. I'm good with that. And now I have this piece that we can tear and put, we're just going to tear it down the middle, down the fold that's already there. In fact, so that I like that torn look, let's just give it a shot here and see what happens. Let's put the ruler down. I don't trust myself because it's the way that other one was, and it really didn't want to tear either. So let's just, it's already folded, but let's put a ruler down here. It's so simple to tear with or without a ruler. Okay. Ah! It's alright. Won't matter. If we glue it down in two pieces, not too concerned. Alright. Let's see which piece fits the best down here. That is torn, but I could glue that back down there. Oops. Got a little bit of nothing there. And I think this is the piece that I do want along here rather than the pink. So I'm going to put that down along here. Again, I'm putting the glue onto the envelope rather than on my piece. Try not to get it on my window, but if you do, you can just come along and wipe it off. Okay. Come on. Pull that piece back up and get it back over where I wanted it to overlap. And I'll come back and trim that later on. It's not enough to fold over. I'm going to put glue in here. If it gets on the window, I'll wash it off or wipe it off. Make sure that piece has enough glue, and I'm going to just stick that piece down there, and once that's dry, I'll come back and get that little bit that's hanging over. Oh, no. I can't let it stay there. I don't like it, and I can't let it stay. I gotta cut it off there. Drive me nuts. Okay. All right. Ah, almost at it. Almost. There we go. See if it will pull off there now. Man, that piece is being very stubborn. Oh, there we go. All right. It's done now. Got it off there. Julie Dublot. I don't know who Julie Dublot is, but Miss Julie Dublot is now on our junk mail piece. All right, so do we have enough to come down like this and just cover that whole bit? And we can fold it over into the back. Oh, I like that. I like how this goes into that. So let's tear this about right here. And we're just barely going to come over the pink like that. And we're just going to bring that right down here, and I'm going to tear it right here and fold that bit over. This time I'm going to put it on my paper. Because I don't exactly know where it's going to fit onto my envelope, with it being a little taller than the window. And the fold over part. Let's see, do we want this to face out? Yeah, no, yes, because of the pink. A little bit of pink on here. There we go. Let's bring this over here. There we go. I guess I'm just going to have to piece something in here to cover that. So I will do that. That bit's covered now. And it didn't get folded over to cover that. So I think I will come back with washi tape when I go to decorate that. I'm not going to worry about it now. I'll add some washi tape to it. So I'm not going to decorate today, guys. I'm just showing you the basic constructs of how to use some window envelopes for things in your journal. Okay. So now we have that side's covered. See how pretty? And it will make a beautiful pocket. I can ink up this little white edge here. Or, like I said, come back. I'll still probably ink it good. And then come back with some washi tape once I find my dauber, not my sander. Okay. Oh yeah. That inks up very well. And I like that look along my edge there. Alright. We missed a spot with blue. We missed a spot with blue. And let's see. I'm going to try to put a piece in there. I was going to just leave it alone, come back with washi tape, but I don't want to do that. I like this folio, and I don't want to have a bit uncovered there. Let's see. What are you? There's something. Ah, no, we don't want you there. You're green. This little bit here will work, and I'm just going to tear it because I just want to do like I did when I pieced that other one in. And I'm just going to piece that in there to cover up the part of the white that's still showing. So you can always piece in, and that has a little bit of pink on it too. So there we go. Just piece that in there, and no one will know if we don't tell them, right? So now we have this, and we're going to flip it over. We're going to do this side. Let's see what I have on this side. I could do it all in this. Tear it into strips and do it all in this. But I don't want it to be exactly like the other side. So we're not going to do that. I have a numbers piece. And I have some book page. Plus I have some of these. This one though is, we're going to use, let's use a strip of this. Across the bottom again, and then maybe we'll use some numbers. And let's just put this piece down, And remember, you only have to do one side of these. Okay. And we're probably just going to do one online. Okay, we can tear it off right here. And we're just going to fold it over. Since that back side is not seen, so this time I'm going to put my glue right on here. Got it upside down, so let's put that piece across. There we go. All right, woohoo! And then I'm going to come back here. I'm not even going to tear it off. I'm going to fold it over. And then here's a piece left from the front that we can use. So I'm just piecing this together now. You can use beautiful digitals if you want. I like the collage look. And I think the newsprint just gives a really neat look to your papers. Just a preference for me. So we're going to go ahead and snip this off here, since we folded it under that way. And I don't trust myself, so I'm going to cut it this way. I want to clip the end of my envelope here. And if I did, no, I didn't. All right, now we've got that. Do we want to tear this to put here? It's going to take up a little bit of our window, but I'm really not too unhappy about that. I don't mind that. Then that's kind of more even with the other side and not so little compared to the other side. So let's just put this piece up through here, and we're going to come in slightly from the edge and just put it right there. Yeah, I like that. And it kind of makes the window on this side a little more even. I like things even. Doesn't have to be perfect because it's a junk journal, but I like to kind of match up things and make them look a little straighter, more even. I try. Don't always make it, but I try. Okay, so let's see. We can do that. Whoops. Go close to that edge, but not all the way to the edge because we folded those over. There we go. So we have that now. And we got to come up this other side. So let's try. Let's cut us a piece of Margaret's kit here. I have glue on this one as well. That's what happens when you have things on your table and you're gluing on top of them. So I'm going to just cut this baby right up the middle because I've got I've got glue on it there. I'll cut it right up here through here. And I'm going to take the glue off this other piece. Goodness. Whoa. So much for cutting it right up the middle, huh? There we go. Good enough. It is good enough for me. Alright. So let's just tear this square off. And we're going to tear this. And cut very straight, so we're going to tear this over here, and we'll tear it with our ruler, because that seems to be working well. Now what did we do with our ruler? Here we go. We put it on top of this other paper over there for some reason. Okay, and I want to try to get it along the edge. Let's go on the outside of these numbers. Here we go. That piece is for the trash. That piece is for the trash. Okay. So now we have this, but I'm going to bring it over a little bit more. I want to see the numbers. I'm just going to put along the edge of these numbers and do my best to get a hold of this little strip and pull it up. There we go. There we go. Yeah, perfect. And we're going to just put a piece of that along here. So where do we want to cut her off at? Just cut her off right across the bottom of these numbers. And I think I'll just go as far as it will allow me to go up. And then I'll fold over the rest. Oh. That's all right. We can cut it. We're just going to go ahead with this. Put it down all the way along this envelope here. Again, if this is your open end of the envelope, you'd want to fold it over anyway, so that you got that all covered up. If ever there's anything that you would like to see in my videos, I encourage you to please comment in my comments below. Let me know. And if you're not already subscribed, please do so. I said in my last video, if I make it to 1,000 by my birthday in October, I'm going to have a big giveaway. So I can't do it without you. So be sure you join and subscribe. Well, not join, but be sure you subscribe. I do not have a membership on my channel. Some do, I do not. So just be sure you like and subscribe. There's no cost. You might get notified when I get up new videos, but other than that, there's no catch, no strings attached. Didn't cost anything. Just folding that piece over. Must have got it on there fairly straight because my numbers aren't too crooked here. And press it down here in the front. All right, so we got that. And now all we need is a little piece for the top. So let's see what else we have. And I'm going to be very careful to try not to cut that open, and I didn't. All right, so we just need a piece across there. Let's see what I have in my little... I have some book page, which would probably perhaps look cool, or maybe one of these vintage receipts. What are you? Oh, you're more of that. Let's see what we got here. Study notes, study helps. From an old vintage book from the 40s, I believe. Yep, we're just going to tear a piece there, and we're just going to put that right across there. Again, this is old enough that if you fold it, it tears very easily. So, well, it tears this way. And it's nice and heavy, but it's a little on the fragile side once it folds or anything. Just because it's an old book page. Alright, so we want this to come over. Can't wrap it, so we're going to have to measure it and tear it at the right place. Let's try right layer. And let's try to get it straight, Miriam. Look how crooked you folded. Okay, let's try this again. Hopefully. It's going to... Yeah, that's good. Good fold. Not so much across the even bottom, but that's alright. It's close. Very close. So we're going to put that on there. And then we're going to take a little bit off the top. So we can fold it over. Midget. The Return Horse. Page 81. What is Mount Lincoln? Leadville. A national forest. Now, this is a book from, I think it was a study guide or a reader from 1940s. Okay, that works right like that. And so that's what we're going to do. We're just going to put it on there and then fold it across the top. The Bell of a Tree, page 90 of what? I can't really read much more of it because I cut off the half the page, and then I just having book pages like that have something interesting on them just adds to the exploration of things in the journal. You know, someday somebody will open it up and they'll say, "Oh, wonder where she found that. Oh, doesn't that look cool?" And someday they'll go through the pockets of my journals and they'll find things that they don't expect to find, perhaps. Something I stick in there from something in my life or something I happen to have. Okay, so I'm going to fold that piece over. Now I have this. So we have this. And we have this. And all they need are decorated. And they're going to go down on a journal page. Okay, one on each side of that page. And what you can do to open up your pockets, you could simply glue it down and not have that open. However, you really want to take advantage of that beautiful window there. So I'm going to keep my envelope folded. Actually, I'm not. I'm going to unfold it. It'll be easier to cut that way. So I'm going to just barely take the top edge off to cut this open here. Just barely. We'll make sure you're going to be cutting through about 4 pieces of paper when you cut these tops off. So it does feel like you're cutting. Your scissors sometimes, depending on your sharpness of them, don't always want to do it. I just can't hold mine in the right place. They're cutting it good, but I keep slipping it because it's so close to the edge that I'm just barely taking it off there. There we go. Once you get going good, it's a lot easier to just go right. Yeah, there we go. Up and off again. Again, and again, and again, and again. Gracious. Miriam, what is your problem? Here we go. There we go. Oh, almost at it. Get it this time. I'm doing so little, you can almost can't tell I've cut it off there. And then it should, yeah. Yep. They're both open. We'll make sure, oh, we didn't get enough up here, so come back here and open up this little bit. Just take it off. Here we go. Oh, shoot. I still don't want to come out there. Might just, I'm not sure why it's doing that. I bet I glued it with my papers. Yeah, I think I did. Let's just come straight across here and we'll just take that little mess off there. There we go. All right, it should open now without any problem. Oh, it does. I see the problem. It was where the edge of the papers were glued together in my envelope. That's why it was doing that. It's a little harder to get that last little snip. There we go. All right. So there we have that to go on a journal page. And I had a card. I haven't backed it yet, but I had this piece. I thought, with the pink, I thought it might be really cool to back it. And yeah, looky there. You won't see the numbers, but you'll see the flowers. And doesn't that look really cool? Doesn't it look cool? So, that's one way you can do junk mail envelopes. You can cover them in many other ways as well. And I think that's all I'm going to do for this video, folks. We're already 39 minutes into this. So I don't want to keep you on here any longer while I would create a journal card for this. But now I have a lovely pocket. When I know what journal is going into, I can simply create a journal card for it. And it can go right in my journal, right down on the page. This is my journal page. It's going to go on like this. It would open up from here with a lovely looking journal card in it. Plus you could glue it down and have a pocket in the back. And you got the same thing on this side. A lovely little window, which will hold a nice little tag. And if you time it, or if you put your embellishment on there right, it will show right through that window. So there you go. You all have a wonderful afternoon. And thank you for joining me in my video. Please like and share and subscribe if you've not done so. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now, everybody. Hey, Sharon! Hey, Sharon! Are you busy?